I want to talk about Clerks 3. This is a re-review because I saw Clerks 3 with an audience. It wasn't packed. It was like a little over half full, maybe 2/3 full on Wednesday night. Alan was meh. I enjoyed it. And I'll tell you why. Kevin Smith, to me, was an inspiration when he made the first Clerks. I think that movie was a real standout in 93, 94 when that film came out. And it was an inspiration that like some kid could just go to Sundance and sell a movie to Miramax. How insane is that? With literally a contract written on a cocktail napkin from a bar in Park City, Utah. It's amazing. Clerks 2, your mileage may vary. It is bold what Kevin Smith has done with Clerks 3 in the sense that there will not be a Clerks 4. This is a definitive ending to this series. I don't know how he could have done it. And it's done in such an emotional way. And I think it clearly was cathartic for Kevin. What we saw was a Fathom Events. And I know there's a lot of people that do not like Kevin Smith based on how he's conducted himself with regard to the He-Man thing and kind of that being a bait and switch. And also kind of like, how he's acted online. I get it. I totally get it. I find Mark Ruffalo insufferable. Mark Hamill, love the character of Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamill as a person on Twitter is like, it's just annoying. And I would, unfortunately, Kevin, he's definitely outspoken and he's definitely kind of feigning to Hollywood in order to work in some capacity in that world. But Clerks 3 is something that is outside of that. It really was for fans of the series, fans of those characters, and it's Dante and Randall's perfect ending. In a way, it's like a love letter to movies and indie filmmaking. That's what resonated to me. And it features the two actors who play Dante and Randall. My God, there's like maybe 2 or 3 major scenes where I can't believe that acting came out of them. It's brutal. I mean, yes, there is the, potty humor in there, but holy shit, they're dealing with becoming middle age, of like being losers. If you've seen the trailer, the plot is Randall has a heart attack. He survives it, decides he's wasted his life, and he's going to make a movie. And what movie is he going to make? Clerks. He's basically, although they call the movie Inconvenience in the movie, but he's effectively making Clerks, right? I wasn't even supposed to be here today, right? Like that thing, it's such a great bookend of the first movie. And it is the definitive end of this series. And I thought it was incredibly bold. I talked to a couple of people last night at our movie meetup group. One guy said, yeah, I saw it. I cried at the end. Like it really, you would not expect it. Now you're going to have to be a fan of Clerks to appreciate it. And you're going to have to be an indie film person, I think. There is a thread that kind of bugs me. One of the characters is very Christian in the beginning and then changes their religion to kind of be less Satanist and goth. It's a running gag that didn't quite work for me. So it's not like I'm giving this movie 100%, right? That's the stuff that kind of dragged it down for me. It was the real life drama that was like, my God. The actor who plays Dante, and I feel bad I'm not remembering. Can you look that up?
Oh, yeah, I'll look it up. The
actors who play Dante and Randall knocked it out of the park for this thing. They really did. Like, I mean, you could hear a pin drop in the theater during like 2 very dramatic moments.
Yeah, Brian O'Halloran.
Right, Brian O'Halloran. How can I forget?
And then Jeff Anderson is Randall.
And Jeff Anderson. Brian O'Halloran, Jeff Anderson, kudos to them. Really, it's like their whole lives. And the fact that this was like a story 30 years in the making. Weird thing to say, but if Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker had ended this way with an emotional like thing that bookended, it's like a perfect bookend. Clerks 1, 2, and 3. Clerks 3 is the perfect bookend to the first Clerks movie. It's Brian O'Halloran and Jeff Anderson. It's there, and the fact that also at the Quickie Stop they brought back a bunch of the people who did like little cameos and little parts like in the original movie, they're in this movie. They literally brought everybody back, filmed it at the same quickie stop, and the ending is incredibly emotional. I don't want to say dark because it's hopeful, right? It's hopeful. And then what's funny is Kevin Smith talks over the credits. As the credits are rolling, he starts talking to the audience, and then they did this little like 10-minute behind the scenes. So I disagree with Alan. This is my re-review of Clerks.
Yeah,
and
you're still wrong. Look, you enjoy that ending. The ending was good, but the thing is, you had to suffer through really bad acting to get to that point. I mean, even Dante and Randall, the actors, it just felt so scripted, like they were reciting lines, and the acting maybe they saved it to the end, but it was just such a labor to get to that point.
Well, I'll say that like it's the acting is varied. There's some acting that is god awful from non-actors, and then there's Brian O'Halloran and Jeff Anderson did a great job. And the ending of the movie, I really love the ending.
I'll say they did a great job at the ending.
Yes,
I wouldn't say they did a great job leading up to the ending.
Okay, all right, fine, fair enough. But there's also some really fun cameos, many that won't surprise you, like Ben Affleck. But there's some very good, some good cameos.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
If you're gonna see your last Kevin Smith movie, make this your last one. The ending, he stuck the landing on an ending, because when you look at movies that like trilogies, like Rise of Skywalker might be the worst example of like not sticking the landing and just ruining Star Wars, including the original trilogy, or say even like The Dark Knight Rises, that didn't quite, like, as a trilogy, as an ending, and the very end of the movie, the last third, holy shit, it's just like it's fantastic, and it pays off so many things. So so Alan, so the ending, yes, but like parts of the movie, I found the thread with the goth guy, the Satanist goth character, was sort of stupid.
Yeah, I mean, that grew on me over time. It started bad, and I was starting to appreciate the various iterations. I mean, I think my biggest comment about it was, I think you do have to be a Kevin Smith fan to enjoy this movie. Otherwise, I can't see how people are going to like this movie outside of that.
Yeah, look, if you're a Kevin Smith fan, it's an 8 or a 9. If you're not a Kevin Smith fan, it's a 0.0. All right, moving on. Let's talk about...
Did you want to get the comments on that one, or?
Do we want to go to comments?
We do have some. I see some super chats and a few.
Okay,
comments.
I'll do some quick comments here. We're really, really behind
Yeah.
today on the show. Pilgrim Media for 2. Love your work, Chris and Alan. Thank you. Well, thank you for the 2. Ken Bogus for 5. Ending of Clerks 3 shed some tears, and I keep thinking about it. Ken, you saw it too. It's that ending, and I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to spoil it, but I'm kind of even shocked that Kevin Smith did this, because you can't, it's over. That's it. It's over. It's a perfect bookend. And Ken, thank you. Thank you. Bill T, their friendship is crumbling before our eyes. Now, part of why I love talking to Alan is we disagree. I'm not gonna diss Alan just for his opinion. Not the Batman. I heard when Kevin visited Clerks 3 set, he cried, so they gave him the job. The Chicago box says sad because Clerks was so great for its time. Agree, it was of its time. I don't know that it completely holds up, but it shows you what
you certainly couldn't make it again. That's for sure.
It inspired a lot of other filmmakers, and that's something I think it's important for what we do at Film Threat, to inspire filmmakers. We try to do that.
I take that back. You could make Clerks again, but it would be an indie production.
Yeah, you could do Clerks and just gender and race swap the 2 leads. Latino Slant said, let's get to 400 likes. Come on, people. And look, George the Giant Slayer, George gifted 10 memberships. Thank you, George. Thank you. We appreciate that. Infinite Main. Oh, wait, Solomon Thornton. Imagine what would happen if Kevin Smith and Tim Burton continued that Superman film. Well, you can kind of see that in the death of Superman Lives. What happened? Yeah, the Chicago Box says Smith's political stuff aside, his work has fallen off big time from where he was. I'm not going to argue with you on that. I'm not a big fan of Kevin Smith's mainstream work. Whenever he delves into mainstream, I just don't care. He directs an episode of a CW series, so what? I don't like that. I like when Kevin Smith can be himself. Snake Oiler says Kevin Smith now selling his tears. And Infinite Main says Kevin Smith lost his creativity when he lost the weight. Shame he had to change so much just to get healthy.